Hello dear friends, in this session we are going to understand the indexes and sorting in MongoDB. In our previous session we discussed about how to create database collections, how to insert the record into collection, how to find the record, how to update and delete the record and search for the particular record. So in this session we are going to discuss about how can we define indexes on the collection and how to sort the collections in ascending or descending order. So these are the content that we are going to discuss. First we'll discuss about what is the need of indexing, why to define indexes on collection. Then we'll discuss creating index in MongoDB shell. Then we'll discuss about creating indexes using MongoDB Compass. Then we'll discuss about creating multiple indexes at a time with shell. And finally we discuss how can we sort the indexes. So let's start. So first we'll discuss what is the need of indexing. One of the basic and most important need of defining the indexes on collection is to increase the access time. The only reason for that we define the indexes on collections so that we'll able to access the record within time, access the document within time. So we can increase the access time while defining the indexes. So we'll discuss how can we define the indexes using MongoDB Compass first so that we will able to understand visually how can we define the index and what is the purpose of defining the index. How can we improve the performance of accessing the records that we can see visually in MongoDB Compass. So here we have to follow the step. First we have to open the MongoDB Compass. Then you have to connect to the database on which you want to define the index, then view the particular document available in collection and then define the index and they see the results. Then after understanding how to define indexes in MongoDB Compass, we'll understand how can we define the indexes using MongoDB shell. So for defining the indexes on MongoDB shell, we just have to use this syntax db.collection.createIndex is a function which takes the two parameter. First is the key on which you want to define the collection. You want to define the index and second is the option for that indexes. So this is the syntax of defining the index db.product.createIndex, and if you want to define the index on atom key or atom column, you can mention the atom here and one is what it is just the order on which you want to define the index. One indicates you want to define the index in ascending order and -1 indicate you have to define the index in descending order. You can also specify the name to the index in second option. So this is the syntax of defining the index using MongoDB shell. Finally, we'll discuss how can we sort the index using sorting. So the basic syntax of sorting the any document is db dot name of the collection, then find, and then you have to specify the criteria to sort, and you have to sort the sort the document in either ascending or descending order. So let's see in practical how can we perform all those operations on MongoDB. So first we'll open the MongoDB Compass. We'll connect to the database. So after connecting to the database, so this is the database. I am connecting to the database. So here I have already created one database in MongoDB. The database name is student and in which the stud collection is there and in which there are 5 records that I have already added into this collection, and the records are the roll number 10 whose name is Ram and percentage is 80, roll number 11 Amit 90, etc. The 5 records I have inserted into this collection. Now we'll see how can we search for the particular record into this collection. Suppose I want to search for the roll number 11 or if I want to search for the name Ram, then how can I search? So for searching we just have to select this document and you have to specify the query to be searched. So the syntax of defining the query is like this: roll number :10. Suppose I want to search for the roll number 10. we'll see what is the actual time required for searching the roll number 10 from this collection. So after this, after specifying this criteria, I am simply going to click on find. So it will find the collection, find the document which is there in the collection. Then we'll see what is the actual time it requires for uh, producing that result. How many comparison it has to perform for producing the result, that we'll see. So for that, we can just use this option called explain plan. When I click on this explain plan, you will get this particular option, and then we'll click on the explain. Now here we'll see that so performance of this query is shown here. The document return is 1. The index key examined 0. There is no index key defined on this collection. The document examined means the 5 documents or 5 record it has to examine. It has examined, and the actual query time is millisecond, and sorted in memory. No index available for this memory, like that. Means the here only I wanted to show here that it has to compare the value 10 with all the documents available in the collection. So it requires the maximum comparison. Yeah. Whatever the records are there in the documents, it has to compare with all the records. If there are 5 records, the 5 comparison need to be performed. If there are 1000 records, the 1000 comparison need to be performed. If there is no index is defined on this collection. And if you'll see, if the index is defined, only one comparison is enough to identify that particular value from the collections. So let's see how can we define the collections. To define the collection, define the index. How can we define the index on collection? To define the index on collection, here is the option called indexes. So the most important thing is that in every document, the underscore id underscore is the default index is defined in every collection. So along with that, if you want to define one more collection, one more index on this collection, so you can use this index option, and then you can use this create index button. Once you select this create index button, you have to choose the field on which you want to define the uh, index. I am selecting here roll number, and then I am choosing the index as ascending. I can define either ascending or descending. If I want to define the index in descending order, I can choose this particular option, or I can choose the first one. So any other options that is required, you can use. If you want to define this index as a unique index, you can use. If you want to define the index name, you can choose this particular option. All these options we will see on command prompt. So after specifying the field name and specifying the option, specifying the way on which you want to define the index, either in ascending order or descending order, we can click on this create index button. Once I click on this create index button, you can find here roll number underscore 1 is the new index that is defined. You can change the name of this index also. We'll see later on how can we change the name of this index. One index is defined. Now we'll see how can the query will affect when we try to search for the roll number 10. Now again I am specifying here roll number colon 10. I want to find the record from this find this particular document from this collection. Now so record is find here. Now I have to explain this particular query. So to explain this particular query, stood, then again I am going to explain this particular. Now here you can see roll number equal to 10 is the command that I want to explain. So for that I have click on this explain option. Now you can see here document return 1, index key examine 1, and the document examine 1, means it has examined only a single document and provide the result. Means the time required for producing the result is increased by defining the index. Previously it has to examine the 5 records because there are 5 records in the document. Now it examines only a single record. If the roll number index is defined on the table, and if I try to search using the roll number, then it has to examine only a single record. That is the advantage of defining the indexing collection. Now we'll see how can we define the indexes on command prompt. Okay, now we'll move toward the command prompt. There we'll understand how can we define the indexes on MongoDB shell. So I'm starting the MongoDB shell. So here is the MongoDB shell. So I'm going to find the db.stud.find. I'm going to find all the record from this collection. There are 5 record for me. Again, I'm going to find a particular name. Suppose I'm going to find for a RAM. It definitely this particular find command has to compare the RAM with all the records available in the collections. Now to minimize this, we can define the index on name also. So how can we define the index on name also? For defining the index on name, we have to use the command create index I is capital. And to define the index on name, we can simply write like this, and we can specify the either -1 or +1. If you want to define the index in descending order, we can use here -1, or if you want to define the index in ascending order, you can use here +1. Okay, so I am defining here -1. So this is the index that I can define on name key. So we'll see how this index is defined. This is the basic syntax of defining the index. Now it's showing that the index name is that he has given is name underscore. We can change the index name as per the requirement. If I want to define the same index once again and I want to change the name of the index, then name equal to, I am going to specify here name index or index on name. I can specify the name like this. So whatever the name I want to specify to this index, I can specify the name as a second parameter to this create index command. Now index already exists with the different name. Okay, we have defined the index on the name key, so we cannot define the index on the same key again by specifying the name only. Suppose we want to define the index on percentage, we can specify here, and the name to the percentage index is percentage index. I can specify like this. So here it's showing that the new index is defined and the name of the index is percentage underscore index. Now there are the 3 keys available in the document and all the keys have index. Whenever we are trying to search any value from this particular document, it only compare with a single record, not all the records in the documents. Now it definitely save the time for producing the data or generating the record. When there are thousands or lakhs of record are there in the document, so it requires more time to produce the result, because it has to search with it has to compare the value with all the documents available in the collection. Once you define the index, it can only compare with the single value and produce the result, so that the result that is obtained, uh, it will be within time, or we can get the result within time. So that is the beauty of defining the index. Okay, then if I want to define the if I want to define index, or 2 or more index can be defined at the same time. I will show you how can we define the 2 index at the same time. So syntax is, if I want to define the index on percentage key, and along with that if I want to define the index on name key, the 2 or more indexes can be defined like this. And I can specify the name to this index also by using comma as a second parameter in curly bracket. Okay, that is the syntax, but the index is already defined here, so I cannot define the index once again. So that is all about creating index in MongoDB. Now we'll see how can we apply the sort on the different values available in the document. If I want to sort the record in ascending order, or if I want to get only the student whose percentage is greater than suppose 80. So how can I specify the query for that? So first I am going to use the find command to show you. So there are 5 records in the collection, and from that 5 collection I want only the student whose percentage is greater than 70, greater than equal to 70. There are 3 students. The first student whose percentage is 80, second student percentage is 90, third student 60, 70, 75. Suppose I want to write a command whose display all the records whose percentage is greater than 75. Then how that command will be? Now to specify such command, I can use the syntax like this. Suppose I want to use the percentage, I want to compare the percentage. So I need to specify the percentage key first. Then I have to specify the criteria. So criteria is greater than. Then what is greater than 75? This percentage is greater than 75. I want to display all the record from this collection whose percentage is greater than 75. And I want to sort this particular uh, data in ascending order. Sort this particular data in ascending order. Then for sorting, we need to specify here percentage sort by percentage colon minus 1. So that is the syntax of sorting the record. Now we'll see, it shows us only 2 record whose marks are greater than 75. So Amit's marks is greater than 75 and Ram marks is greater than 75. Like that we can specify uh, specify the sort operation along with the find. We can specify here greater than, LT stand for less than, EQ stand for equal to, like that. You can specify the criteria or conditions for fetching the records, and whatever the record that is fetched by this particular query, we want to sort those records with the sort command. Sort in descending order. If I want to sort in ascending order, only I need to specify here percentage colon 1. If I specify the same query once again by specifying positive 1 here or plus 1 here, we'll get the record in ascending order. You can see here the first it shows the 80 and then it shows the 90. So in this way we can perform the sorting operation on collections. I hope you understand. Thank you.